Muse for you, awesome websites without code.
Hey, what's up users? This is John at Muse for You, here to help you build awesome websites without code. And in today's video tutorial, we're going to recreate this spring header. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into Muse, and here I have the website. And the first thing I'll do is create a new site. So I'll go to File, New Site. And then for the breakpoint, we're going to set it to 1600. I like to start my largest breakpoint at the 1600 mark, and it is a Google resizer value. I go over the different breakpoint values that I use in my 17-day course, so there's more information about that in the course. So here I'll click OK, and I'll double click on the home page. And here we can see the breakpoint is set to 1600. If I did want the page to expand beyond 1600, I would just go here to the page expansion buttons and make sure that the arrows are pointing outwards instead of inwards. If they're pointing inwards, the site will stop at the 1600 breakpoint, but if they point outwards, it will expand beyond the 1600 breakpoint to fit larger screens that are larger than 1600 pixels in width. So the next step is to add the first spring text. So if I go into the preview here, we have the spring text that's kind of faded in the background to give it a nice effect, and it's really large. So let's go ahead and add that. So to add that, go to the text tool. So I'll click on the text tool. I'll create a text box, and I'll type the word spring. I'll highlight it here, then go to the text panel. And for the text, it's railway heavy. So I'll click railway heavy. If you don't have this font, you can go to File and select Add Remove Web Fonts. And then here type in railway, and it is a typekit font. And then here select railway, and it'll have all the different font sets in there as well. So here I'll click cancel. Let's go back into the site. For the font size, it's 270. For the color, it's ED, and I'll add it to the swatches panel by clicking on this icon. And I'll click OK to add it to the swatches. And the text transform is set to uppercase. And the tracking, or the distance between each of the letters, is 40 pixels. So I'll enter in 40 for the tracking, and that is it for the text. So I'll zoom out here. And as we can see, the letters go below each other. So this means I have to expand the text box so that the text fits all the way across horizontally. So here I'll click and hold the text box and drag out to the right so it fits across the website. There we go. And then for the positioning, we'll set it to 270 on the y-axis. So it's a little bit lower within the website. So now I'll preview. So I'll go to File, Preview Page in Browser. And if I resize the browser, we notice that the text is going below each other. For this header, I'm going to set the resize option of all the elements to none so that they don't resize. And then on different breakpoints, I can just rearrange the elements, make them smaller so that they fit on different devices. So here I'll go into Spring, and then I'll go into the resize option right up here. I'll click the drop down and select none. Okay, so we're done with the first spring text. Now let's add the second spring text, which is this one right here that's in red. So I'll go back into Muse, and I'll create a text box. So I'll select the text tool, create a text box, and let's go ahead and type in spring again. And then I'll highlight it, go to the text panel, and I'll type in railway, and this one's railway bold. I'll select railway bold. The font size is 120 pixels. The color is FF0848, and then I'll add it to the swatches panel as well, so I can reference this color later. So as we can see, that red color is being added to the swatches panel by clicking on this add swatch icon. All right, so we've added the color. And for the text transform, we want to set it to uppercase. And the tracking, we're going to set it to 30 pixels there. All right, looks good. And let me zoom out here. And again, we have to make the text box a little bit larger. And I want to place the spring text right in the center of the spring text in the background. So it should be in the center, and this should be at the 360 mark on the y-axis. And Muse gives us this nice blue guideline, letting us know that it's in the center of the background spring text box. So if I go to the y-axis, we can see it's at 360, which is perfect. All right. And again, I want to select the text box, go to the resize option and say none. So I'll preview. And if I resize, we can see the text isn't resizing. So what I would do around, let's see what mark that is, around the 1280 mark, yeah, around here, I would set a new breakpoint and just resize the text on those breakpoints. So the next step is to add this image here. So we're going to use Photoshop to create this image. So here I'll open up Photoshop and I'll go to File, New. And then for the canvas, the width and height, I want it to be 1000 by 1000. We can set the resolution for 72. I believe 300, a resolution of 300 is more for print. So I'll go into my Finder and I'll drag and drop this image here of this girl with the flowers. So click, hold, and drag, place into Photoshop, and just select Enter to place it into Photoshop. Or you can select the Move tool, and then it will ask you if you want to place this file and just say yes. Okay, so the next thing I want to bring in is the mask. So I have this mask image here. So click, hold, and drag, place into Adobe Muse, and there's the mask. So I'm going to place the mask right over the image where I want that mask to cover the image, and then select Enter to place the mask. Then I'll go into the Layers panel, place the image above the mask, right click on the image, and select Create Clipping Mask. Okay, and just like that, the image is in the mask. So now I want to remove the background because I want it to be a transparent PNG. So in the Layers panel, just uncheck the eyeball here to not make the background visible. So now we have a transparent image, so there's no background. And I want to trim the canvas a bit, so I'll go to Image and then Trim. And so we want to trim based on transparent pixels, trim away top, bottom, left, and right. I'll click OK, and it trims the image a bit there. Okay, so now I'll go to File, Export, Save for Web. And here are the options, PNG 24, we want it to be a transparency, and then I'll click Save. Okay, and here I'll save it as image video, or final image video. Okay, and yeah, I'll click replace. All right, perfect. So now I'll go back into Muse. We've saved the image. So let's go here and go into the Finder. And then here we have the final image video file, or the final image PNG. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place right in there. And here I'm just gonna eyeball it a bit and just place it where I think it looks good. So we'll just place it right in there, and perfect. All right, and again, I'm gonna click on the image, go to resize and select none there. Okay, let's go ahead and preview, and looks good. So again, around the 1280 breakpoint, I would set another breakpoint and just, you know, rearrange the elements. I would make this image smaller, make the text smaller. I might move the text up, maybe place the image below the text and things like that. So the next step is to add the paragraph text. So we have this text here, this paragraph. So I'll go back into Muse and go to the text tool here. I'll create a text box, and then I have that text in a text file. So I'll just copy this text here, paste it in there, highlight the text, then go to the text panel. And for the text here, it's Roboto Medium, and the font size is 16. The color is 565656, and that looks good there. And the line height here is 150%. So we're going to add a bit of more line height between the lines in the text so it doesn't look so together. So before it was like this at 120, and by setting it to 150, we now have it a bit more space between the lines. All right, and I'll just expand the text box here to about 507 pixels in width. Perfect, and I'll place it here to the left. And on the y-axis, it at 557. All right, perfect. And I'll just make this text box smaller here, and it looks good. Again, I'll select the text box, go to resize, and say none. Okay, so the next step is to add the Contact Us button here. So I'll select the text tool right there, and I'll create a text box. I'll type in Contact Us, select the text, go to the text panel. For this one, it's also Roboto Medium. Select it there, size is 16. The color is the red color we added to the swatches panel. The text alignment is center, and the text transform is uppercase, and the tracking is set to 2 pixels. Okay, so there we have the Contact Us text. And now we want to create a rectangle behind this Contact Us, this rectangle with the stroke. So I'll go to the rectangle tool, and I'll create a rectangle over Contact Us. The dimensions for this rectangle is 220 by 55, and the stroke is this red color here. Once you add a color, it automatically adds a stroke weight of 1. So now I'll just place this rectangle perfectly behind Contact Us. I'll right click, arrange, and send to back, so we can select the text as well. So I'll select the text and the rectangle. I'll go to the align option, make sure that it's aligned to selection, and align horizontal centers and vertical centers. Okay, so there we have the Contact Us button, and I'll just place it all the way to the left. And on the y-axis, it's at 723. Okay, so there we have the Contact Us button. It's looking good. So I'll go to File, Preview Page in Browser, and there we have the header. Perfect. And we also want to set the resize option for this button to none, so I'll select this, go to resize, and say none. Okay, perfect. So now let's add the logo and the menu in the header section. So here in the example, we have the logo and the menu. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this Contact Us button, because this Contact Us is the same as this Contact Us button here at the bottom. So I'll just copy this, and then we're gonna go to the master page. So I'll go to the plan view, then double click on the master page, and hold down Command V to paste, or Control V if you're on Windows. And there we have the button. So I'll place it here in the upper right, and I'm going to pin this button to the top right of the browser. So I'll go to the pin options right here and pin to the top right, so it doesn't move as the website is scrolling. Okay, so now I'll add the logo here to the top left. So I'll go into my Finder, and I have the logo here. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place right in there. And for the resize option, I'll say none, and I'll pin it to the top left so it doesn't move as the website scrolls. Okay, now let's add the menu. So to add the menu, go to Object, Insert Widget, then click on Menu and select Horizontal, and just click once. And then in the widget options, select Manual, Direction Horizontal. We want it to be edit together. So when we change one menu item, all the menu items change. The item size, we're going to say uniform spacing, so there's equal spacing between the menu items. Okay, and then I'll go in here, let's zoom in a bit, and I'll click on the menu item, click the plus symbol, click on the second one, and just click the plus symbol there until I have 4 menu items. Then I'll double click again to select the text. We'll say home, and this one is about, and support, and blog. I believe that's it. Let me double check. Yep. And perfect. So now I'll select the home text here. I'll go to the text panel. For the text, it's Roboto Medium. The size is 16. The color is 565656, and looks good. And the text transform is uppercase, and the tracking is 2 pixels. All right, looks good. So now we formatted the text. So we'll select the first menu item, and I don't want that gray background. So to remove that background, go to Fill. Select the drop down, select the none option here, the none swatch with the red line going through it. And then for the states panel, we'll click on the states panel. So here we can see it has a rollover state that has a gray background. So you just want to click this trash can here to remove the states. The mouse down state, just click on the trash can, and the active state, just click on the trash can there. Okay, and then we have our menu, and let's just resize it a bit. like so. I'll place it here next to the Contact Us button, and I'll pin this to the upper right as well. So I'll go to the pin option, select upper right to pin to the browser. And just like that, we have our menu and our logo. So let's go back to the home page, and I'll zoom out here, and let's preview in the browser. Okay, so there we have the menu, the Contact Us button here, and the logo. Looks good. If I resize the browser, we can see it just stays fixed. The elements are not changing size, and then around this breakpoint, I would add another breakpoint around the 1280 and just rearrange the elements there. Okay. So the next step is just finishing touches. So we're gonna add these squigglies here. So there's a few squigglies. We notice on this demonstration the picture is a little bit smaller. I must have just resized it, but here we're gonna add the squigglies. So I'll go into the Finder, and I have an SVG image of those squiggly lines right here. Click, hold, and drag, place right in there. And for the resize option, we're gonna say none. And for the opacity right up here, we're gonna say 20%. Okay, perfect. And then I'll just place them where I think they look good around the header. So one right here, and another one right here. Okay, perfect. All right, looks good. And the last thing we'll do here is add this red bar at the bottom. For this, I used the browser centering widget from museforyoushop.com. So I'll go to the library panel here. If you don't see the library panel, you can go to Window and click on Library. Then type in browser border right in here, or browser border. There we go. And for this one, I've selected browser border, individual sides with images. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place on the website, click into the widget options. For the left border, I don't want a left border, so the width I'll say 0. The right border, I don't want a right border, so I'll say 0 for the width. The top border, I'll say 0. And the bottom border, we want it 15 pixels. And the color, we want it to be that red color that we added to the swatches panel. And I'll preview. And there we go, we have that red border at the bottom, and the header is done. So if I resize, I just set the 1280 breakpoint around here, and something that might look nice is bringing the spring text at the top, bringing this image in the center, and bringing the paragraph text maybe to the right or to the left. It might look good on the right. I'm not gonna go through that in this tutorial just to save a bit of time. I will go over one last thing that I thought looked kind of nice, and that was setting the border around the entire site. So let's go back into the browser border widget, and for the left border we'll say 15, the color we'll say red, the right border we'll say 15, the color red, the top border 15, and the color red. Okay, so I thought this was kind of a nice effect. Just has a border around the entire site. We would have to move in the logo and the menu, so you can just go to the plan view, go to the master page, and just bring those down a bit. Okay, something like that. And I'll preview, and there we go. So we have that nice header. It has the entire border around it. And the last thing I'll do is on the master page, I'll add the font smoother widget. So type in font smoother, and I'll bring in the font smoother light widget. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place into Adobe Muse, and there we go, just for some nice fonts there. And I'll preview one last time, and there we go. So that is the spring header. It was a lot of fun working on this header, and I'm happy to share this information with you. So there was a few widgets that were used in this header, the browser border widget and the font smoother widget. You can access those widgets at museforyoushop.com. And here you can click on join today. And here you can click subscribe now to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. And the browser border widget is right down here. And here you can click add to cart to purchase individually. Or again, you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. The font smoother widget is also on the widget page. It's lower down in the page. So that's it for this video tutorial. Again, I do this to help you build awesome websites without code. If you like this video tutorial, you can subscribe below. Also in the show more section below are links to other resources and links to museforyoushop.com. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.
Muse for You, awesome websites without code.